Hey, monkey boy. This time I can prove the Israelites weren't black using ChatGPT. Ha!
So that's what we're doing now? Using AI?
What was that? I couldn't hear you over that smoke alarm chirp you people can't hear. Say that again?
Hilarious and original.
Hilarious and original. Hilarious and original. Hilarious and original.
I said, is that what we're doing now? Using AI to prove who the Israelites are?
That's exactly what we're doing, and I'll show you, boy.
Oh, brother.
2 hours later.
Your room still stinks.
Look at how easily ChatGPT debunks everything you chimps have to say. Ha! You was not kings, and you was not Israelites.
If we're going to use AI, then let's at least use an AI that's trained on the Bible without the Masoretic mistranslations or any agendas and actually tells us the truth.
Liar, there's no such thing.
I'll show you. Let's use Israelite Bot. Go to israelitebot.com and ask the same thing.
Fine, but I bet it'll say the same thing as ChatGPT. No! No!
You see? I told you.
No!
And it shows biblical proof.
No! This is preposterous. I hate this website. It's all wrong.
Stop crying.
Your website sucks.
The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
All right, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. My message has been the same. Look, I talk to everyone, anyone and everyone. If you want to listen to the truth, then sit on down. Now, calling out what is done in wickedness, that's always, it's never savory. But there is a way to let people know that they've done wicked without you engaging in the wickedness yourself. That's not being a servant of Yahusha. Now, there are certain things that look, even with me, I tell everybody, eat, just like with Yakoba, just like with Teyu, just like with Sister Shonda, listen, eat the meat, spit out the bones. I know I'm an Israelite. Most of our people know we're Israelites. But here's the thing, I don't dwell on it. And not only do I not dwell on it, I don't glorify it. There are people that glorify it because why? Now they're making, they literally went to an idol. And it's funny that you can see who went to an idol because they went right to the star of Raphan and Molech. And as I was listening to Brother Ron, one of those things is that a lot of people still have to go through some knowledge and learning, and more of a crash course setting than others. I'm not going to lie. I believe that I have been blessed with being able to travel outside of the United States multiple times. And it's not to say that, well, that gave me the advantage that I can talk to you all like this. No, it gave me the advantage that I can understand what's happening, why it's happening, and why we are the way we are, because it's the reality of having a captive image that our captors can then say, this is who, if you believe that these are the people, let them believe. Go ahead. Think about this. They literally played 3, 4, 5D chess. So now you're showing the people around the world who we are. Oh, those are the Most High's people. Well, I don't know, them or the other Eastern Mediterranean folks. Kind of hard to tell. And why is that? Because, on this channel, I told you, I believe for a while, you have COINTELPRO. You even have some of the folks that leave comments, that leave emails. Man, they're COINTELPRO too. I know. I understand. I get it. Because you want to know why? Because they're scared. Because why? Because their pensions ride on making sure that this place stays alive as long as it can. Because why? Because they're riding on this. Their hope is in this. Their trust is in this. When the word says that you place your hope and your trust on the kingdom, on the Most High's kingdom, where there's not what? Moth, nor robber, nor thief, nor anything that can tear this thing down. Because why? It's built on a firm foundation, and we're seeing their kingdom has never been built on a firm foundation. We're seeing Habakkuk 2 in action. Woe to a nation. Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A lot of woes. You know, yes, last week, a lot of things are going down, and a lot of things have gone down. And honestly, I bite my tongue on not saying anything because, to be truthfully clear, this was the time, and let's just face it, we understood that this was the time because of the fact that, number one, they can't pay their bills. And if you can't pay your bills, it's not that you can't pay your bills, you can't pay the hush money anymore. And because you can't pay the hush money anymore, then guess what? Somebody's going to start to say, you know what? Yeah, those are the people. Because all of a sudden, look what I found in my library tucked away in these European locked libraries that have been around for centuries. All of a sudden, these European libraries, these national libraries, all of a sudden, the royal family over in Spain are going to say, you know what? We have to be true to our roots because we're getting pulled on both directions from the north and the south. And we need to be a maintained neutral presence. That was what Spain was generally back in the day. In the Hellenic empires, you want to know why? Because that's where we had fled to. Everybody has some sort of a family migratory pattern over there. And then we fled what? Down. We fled back down. In my opinion, yes, we started over in Ethiopia. We started out in Ethiopia. I believe, though, that Jerusalem was a lot bigger than the modern Ethiopia because why? It's hard to contextualize something if you're visited and you're showing the graphic every single day. Because why? Because they know that we're sheep. They know that what did Jacob do with the sheep with Laban? Show them a picture. And what? And the sheep's gathered and they recognize the picture. So as a people, guess what? We look at pictures. Pictures here, pictures there. We are a picture-looking people. That's why I have to show pictures. Protests intensify in Los Angeles after Trump deploys hundreds of National Guard's troops. So they called up 1,000. They probably only got, 100 on out there. I wouldn't say hundreds. He probably got 2,000. They're not going to all be there everywhere because it's called a preservation of force. For those that have ever been in the military, if you are a troop commander, your troop commander is going to have your S1, your S2, your S3, S4, your S6, and your S8. Not necessarily your S7s or your S5s. Those are at higher levels. Those are at your group levels, your joint levels, your division levels. But your S's is your squads. Your squads is usually manned at captains and below. When you get to the battalion level, that's usually at about a major 04 level, 04 to 05. Then regiment, division, corps, and so on and so forth, depending on the type of strategic command that you are dealing with in terms of a joint presence. And I could go on and on and on because, that's what I wanted to do back in my day. Man, I was saying I could be career. The great thing about this photo? The great thing about this photo is, does anybody want to mention that in the chat before I mention it? Does anybody want to glaringly mention the lack of who is in the photo? All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Yeah, now, yeah, Esau and Esau. I still have to say this. Not everybody's Esau. And I know we get it from the camp perspective. However, to me, personally speaking, these are not your Edomites. Because your Edomites wouldn't be at this right here. The reality is that a lot of people don't want to do the actual deep dives of the Edomites. Shout out to Sister Gates of Holders. She went in on that. I would honestly say, yes, these are your Japhetic nations. If we want to put it in the literal context, these are your Japhetic nations. These are your nations of Japheth. Yes, and that even includes the Latino Hispanic communities. And yes, it may be a confederacy, but not everybody has the Edomic bloodline. Now, are they there in Europe? Absolutely, they are. Are they there here in the United States? Absolutely, they are. However, they're not there. They are behind the scenes, and we know who they are. We know what things are. You don't need to say it in the chat because I don't need to be banned because they're going after folks. But we have to understand the clear distinction because here's the honest reality. You even have a lot of Edomites over in Africa. Oh. What does that mean? Sometimes people don't even understand. Job was an actual Edomite. A lot of Edom did not want to do what their father did. So we read Job. Should we not? Should we read Job? Job talks about the Leviathan. He's a Edomite. Well, here's the thing. You even had Doeg the Edomite. Oh boy. They were always around us. They were always around us. Now you understood they also knew what righteousness was, and they knew what wickedness was. And on the side of those that knew what wickedness was, they're now in power. That's how it goes. But it's a remnant of them. That's how it goes. They know prophetically that we come out on top. And it's not that we come out on top to harass and harangue, we're here to deal and move in righteousness. And as we move in righteousness, guess what? Righteous does and sees what righteous sees, and righteous emulates righteous. Now, are these tribes, these Edemic tribes, still on the continent today? You better believe it. Absolutely. But guess what? They also know the construct that their brother took on. And for me, that's that side of the family feud. Because now the tents of Jacob are waking up. The tents of Yasharel are waking up more than ever before. Because this has always been a spiritual battle. Why do you think in Jeremiah 16 and 19, the Gentiles, did it say Esau? It said the Gentiles. The forces of the Gentiles. Well, then how do you have Esau synonymous with the Gentiles if Esau is going to be destroyed? This is all camp doctrine. If you're coming on here, I don't speak camp. I'm sorry. I don't do it. Because at the end of the day, what is going to end up happening is people are going to fall for the trap. And you're going to see the trap being sprung. And, just pray for our brothers and sisters. That's all you can do. Pray for them. Because the whole situation was, if I can get them in their feelings, and then I can get them to have the hate in their heart, because that's wickedness. Did the Most High say, I'm going to qualify your wickedness? Oh, you can't, you're not as wicked as that. And that's a little bit of wicked. And that's not that wicked. And I see that wickedness. That's a justified wickedness. No. Humility and meekness. This is pride before pride. Because why? I need my workers here. I need my folks here to prune my gardens, to pick my fruit, to do my chores. Because why? Because I haven't had to be required to do that for the 400 years that my family's been here. Oh, don't get it twisted. Them folks that landed over in Jamestown, oh, they spread it out. They spread out and they went forth throughout this nation, all four corners. They'll let you know. I came from Roanoke. I came from Jamestown. I came from Plymouth. I was on the Mayflower. Yeah. What do they want? They wanted their requirement of what? Of comfort. At what? At all costs. At what? Because Isn't that Revelations chapter 17 and 18? The merchants. And yeah, the Gentiles actually do help us to do what? The ships to Tarshish. Well, how does Esau help Esau? Look, y'all gonna have to figure that on out, but don't get too caught up in that camp doctrine because it's gonna lead you astray. And you never know who the Most High sends to help you. I told you that. I believe that's the final test. Will you be led by the Ruach HaKodesh to get up on out of here? Or are you going to be led by your flesh and your hate and your wickedness for your destruction? You look, there are qualifiers to be in this kingdom. And here's the thing. I don't even know if I'm qualified. I don't even know if I'm worthy. I don't.
Nobody's worthy.
Come on.
If we're going to be honest, nobody's worthy. The scripture says that. Shalom to everybody. The scripture literally says that. And another thing is, yeah, Job was an Edomite. Another thing is that you don't even know if Edomites might even help you.
Come on.
There are some. There are some. If Job was an Edomite and the Most High used Job to be an example and said, have you, like, I don't really, I was reading that the other day and I was breaking that down with my mum the other day, and I said, it's so weird because it's like we skim through this and we don't even, as we've woken up, we don't actually take, sometimes we forget certain aspects and we ignore everything else and we just kind of just hone in on the fact that I'm Israel and that's it. But we don't even take the time to actually break things down and to dissect it. And it's like, what I said to my mum, what really strikes me here is that the example was given to Esau's kin, not Jacob. Which makes me think, what was our ancestors up to at that time? That the Most High skipped over those that he chose to the one that he said, Esau I hated. That kind of messed with my head a little, if I'm going to be honest. And I'm like, wow, you know, like he chose Job to be a representative to show Satan, who went across this is the mind, you know, he went across the whole earth to and fro, and he could not find anybody that was righteous. And the Most High had to bring in and say, psst, psst, come here. Have you looked at my brethren over there? Did you even look at my child over there? Did you pay attention to this one right there? Did you see him? Are you seeing how he flexes? Are you seeing how he is? Are you seeing how people, not only just how he is, but how people speak of him, know him? Have you seen him? That messed with my head, because it's like, it's not even the fact that he chose, it's not even the fact that he used him as an example in on itself. It's the fact that Satan went across the whole globe and there wasn't even one righteous enough for the Most High to point to his own chosen. That is what messed me up. Like, what about us? Kind of thing, you know? So it's like, we can't just be, we can't just be like dismissive. Yeah, you're Esau and that's it. For a lot of us, we don't even know what some of us might have in our history. If we're gonna be honest,
Come on.
we don't know. We don't know. And here's the thing. Many of us are like, okay, well, I got told that I had this DNA and that. Look, these people understand who owns these companies. It's the same people. They don't want to mix and they don't want to share. We know that through history. If it was if they found that there was some of them in some of us, especially as it stands where they're still on the top, you think they're going to let you know? No. They're not going to let you know because they don't want to share in glory. They don't share nothing. They don't share nothing. So some of us don't even know, if we're going to be honest. And when I say Esau, like, I don't always mean literally like in the biological sense, because some Israelites can be Esau. And I don't mean you could be 100% Hebrew Israel indeed. I'm talking like, what kind of spirit are you manifesting in?
Come on.
So for me, there's a lot, and I've said this in the past where I've read, I think was it, I can't remember where it was, I can't remember, I think it's not Isaiah, Ezekiel 20, I think it might be, where it's talking about how the Gentiles will carry our children on their backs and this. And I'm like, some of us need to understand, like, there might, do you know what I found really fascinating? You ain't seeing your rich people anymore in your country like that.
Oh, come on.
I'm like, where have they gone?
They've left. Yeah.
Of course they've left. And ask yourself, where is the best place to go? Because you're not really hearing of them being in Europe. If they were in Europe, you'd see them there. You're not really hearing them in Europe. I guarantee you they're either in South America or Africa, or maybe even in Australia and New Zealand. But they ain't trying, or maybe some in Asia, but they ain't trying to be, they ain't trying to be up in Europe. They're not stupid. They know that they're not wanted there, and they know that there's no hope there. But if you find that some of them are in Africa, which wouldn't really shock me, because it's like they're understanding, hold on, Africa might become up and coming. I might need to get myself a little piece of this. And I'm not even talking about people that look like us, because there are certain communities, and not just in South Africa. I think, was it in, I can't remember, it's Gambia, I think they might have, where you've got communities of just rich people, gated communities of just nothing but rich people. And although some of them might be black rich communities, you think that they're not going to allow them to come in? It's like, oh, come in, yeah, bring some of your money, and we could, because black rich people don't think like they don't think like all of us. They don't. They're the ones that say, I don't see color either, because they don't. They only until they're being oppressed, so to speak. But what they will happily tread over us, and we've seen that. We saw all of these celebrities coming out for that orange idiot, right? They will happily tread over us when the going is good, gets good with these oppressors. So if they want them to come in, they will happily let them come in. And we'll be sitting here thinking, are you stupid? Well, yes, money, rich, fame, whatever makes you stupid. So I'm saying, even there might be some rich people in America right now, some celebrities in America right now, who would be like, this is about to kick off. Do not be surprised if you start seeing certain celebrities. You might see, I don't know, oh gosh, not even the Kardashians, but you might see, I don't know, just whoever, Tom Cruise, whoever, I don't know. I'm just saying, you might see somebody saying, I'll give you this amount of money if you can help me get out. Come on. Of course they would do that. They've got the money, they've got the means. The money ain't going to mean nothing, but they will have, when the Bible says they'll throw their silver and their gold in the streets, what did we think that means?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Mr. Chantel, because you're on the outside looking in especially
Mm.
being over in the UK. You see that, and we see that they're trying to drag us in. And I saw this person on TikTok, and it was shown by a couple of different YouTubers
Mm.
of the the Hebrew male teacher that was there in Southern California, and he was talking about how the kids' parents were there to see their kids graduate from either like kindergarten you know um or elementary school, and ICE was there taking
Oh,
their parents away at the graduation. And he was visibly upset, he was shaking, he was crying. Now I know he was crying because obviously he doesn't know who he is. And that is now, look, in my opinion, is this: if you don't know who you are going to fall with this.
do you mean that he was crying for the Hispanics when they were taking them?
Yes, because he was at the school seeing them, he was at a school next to the school. So I guess it's like on a complex, and he was hearing, and that was being shared with him.
Mm.
He was on the TikTok video. I don't have the video, but
Okay.
yeah, so you'll have to
Oh,
look
so
around.
he wasn't actually there.
No, but he was
Okay.
seeing on the complex, he was seeing the ICE agent
Sorry, excuse me.
surrounding.
Mm.
So he was on one part of the complex.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
But you feel that he was upset because he doesn't know who he is and who they are and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe that, because I'm going to say this: it's not that we're cold-hearted, it's not that we're cold-blooded, but it's the reality is, if you don't know your history,
Mm.
then you're going to fall into this trap because, oh, they did this to us a couple hundred years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did this to us in 1492. Oh, they did this to us in, the Spanish Inquisition. Oh, they did this to us.
When have they not been doing that to us, would be the
What I'm
question.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like, well, our people have to drastically wake up. And when I told you that our people are going to wake up, it's going to be a rude awakening. Well, this is
Mm.
now a rude awakening, because now a lot of our people are starting to understand that they're starting with them and they're going to end with us.
Oh, yeah. But I just wanted to add to this, though. What if he did know who he was? Like, for me, we all sit and we all say, you know what, we all been saying, FO, you chose this and everything. And I've said this before, like, when we leave, we're
Mhm.
going to be leaving corpses.
Mm-hmm.
When we leave, we're going to be, look, we all, for most of us, I did. I'm not ashamed to say that I did. I was thoroughly upset, we'll be putting it mildly, when I saw what was going on, when I saw the images of what was going on in the G place.
Mm.
But I was also upset, and I have been upset about what's been going on with your history,
Mm-hmm.
my history, what goes on in Africa. I got upset when I saw what's going on with the Australians, and I mean the Australians. And we heard about, was it the French trying to, I can't remember, the island, the Pacific island country where the French are trying to push their way
Yeah.
into.
That one, I
Right,
forgot the name, but yes,
right,
earlier. Mm-hmm.
yeah. we get upset. I got
Caldonia,
upset.
something like that. Caldonia.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it is. Which is Scottish, funny enough. But I what I'm saying is that we know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We understand what they've done. But when you see it, you can see it on the, like when you're watching it from the comfort of your own home on the television as well. Sometimes there's a disconnect between you and what's really going on through that television screen,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've been so conditioned to seeing things on television that it's like, oh my gosh, but you know what? I'm where I am. And because of, obviously, because of Hollywood and films and movies and TV series and music videos, we've been conditioned. But when you actually see that in your, where you're standing there and you're seeing it, I mean, look at all the movies you guys watch where you would have the destruction of America. How did you all feel when you saw the Twin Towers happen?
Yeah, back in the day, you know, but that was before pre-awakening.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
no, no.
very upsetting.
That pre-awakening, it doesn't matter. It's
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I say it doesn't matter, even though we could be like, oh, you know, well, but the fact of the matter is,
Yeah, there's still
it's
somebody
the,
that's there. There's still some,
right.
you know, that
You're
are innocent
seeing,
people are, you know, and you could qualify innocent, but really you see innocent people are there thinking that they're just going to work and coming back home, and you know, they make it to work and they don't leave the building. You know, they're
look,
basically been entombed.
yeah, look, I'm going to say this. And I stand and I'm quite proud of the fact that I have the ability to even feel a certain measure of discomfort when I see those who have hated. Like we're
Still
not
have
like them,
compassion and empathy.
right?
You still have compassion and empathy.
We're
And we're
not
not
like
saying,
them.
yeah, we're not saying that we don't have compassion or empathy. That's what sets us apart as a people. Vengeance is Yahuwah, says Yahuwah. He will repay. That's not our job. That's
Yes.
actually what make that that's actually what gives us a quality to then be able to redeem a person, because why? Because Yahusha redeemed us. And we were really ugly people.
Oh gosh. And here's the fact of the matter, right? We all had, look, we had, that is our word, that is our book. It's coded into our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, our ancestors stood at the foot of that mountain. That experience is coded into our DNA. When the Most High said, another nation have I not known. When the Most High said, I gave you those commandments. When the Most High said, this is going to be written in your, it's going to be in your heart. Basically part of your DNA, your genetic makeup. We have that, they don't. That is why when you look around, there's certain behaviors that all these different cultures, including some, it's not fair to twist it, some in Africa, because not all skin folk are kinfolk, not all are our people, but there's certain things, certain aspects that they did. That, look, we know we was in there, right? And we know that the nations who were not our people surrounded us. And we know that we started following after their traditions, like this ancestor worship. I get mad. I'm so triggered. I'm not even going to play this off. I get so abundantly triggered. Now that I'm hearing people saying, thank the ancestor, I want to line them all up and
No.
clap them in their face. How
This,
dare you?
this is
How
because of
dare you?
this is because of our ancestors. We don't thank the ancestors. We thank
I know.
the Elohim
Look,
of our ancestors.
look,
But we
look,
thank
I'm
the
not talking about. I'm not
ancestors
talking
when
about those
we
who are awake. I'm not
yeah.
talking about those who are awake.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets me mad. And when I see it, I'm like, I have questions that need answers. First of all, if it's thank the ancestors and they're so powerful, why the hell, excuse my language, why the hell did they let them come to Africa in the first place? Dot. First strike. Why didn't they sink the ships there, then and there? Secondly, why did they allow us to be taken? Why did some of them not appear or send angels, whatever, to help hide some of us? right? Why didn't they warn us? Why was there no scripts? Why was nobody telling us about, oh, it's written from the ancestors who came before, who knew this was going to happen? Why was there nothing there? Why was there nothing there? Why are they only doing something now? Why didn't they do something 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago? Why not then when we were going through what we were going through? Why didn't they tell us what we was going to go through? I want to know. Give me the answers. If you don't have the answers, then don't stop thanking people that dead. Them dead. They can't do nothing. Them dead. What they gonna do? They're dead. Dead. You're thanking bones.
You're thinking bones. You're thinking a people that were, it was ignorance, right? And that was a spiritual. They weren't just dead. Remember, we were spiritually dead. Every one of us was spiritually dead. We may have tried to think that we had some. All right, so think about this, especially when you look at the quote unquote Christian church. We have our people praising and worshiping, and they're praising and worshiping, and that's great. Think about that. Think about if you are one of these folks, hey, as long as they're cheering and they're clapping and they're worshiping with all their hearts, are they worshiping Yahuwah or are they worshiping their Elohim? And remember, they're worshiping their Elohim, the Elohim of our oppressors, which means, man, let them keep worshiping. That just means they're still asleep. They still have no idea what's happening, because why? Is that changing, or is things have gotten worse? And now things have gotten worse. Shalom, Brother Eric. Had you waiting for a little bit. Shalom.
Shalom, Brother Karras. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Shalom,
I can.
Brother Eric. How are you? I'm sorry about that little blowout.
Nice to hear from you. Nice to see you. Blessings to the chat. Blessings to the panel. I've been MIA because my mom passed away, so I've been,
I'm sorry to
space.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry for your
my
loss.
condolences. Yeah,
appreciate that. So I'm gonna come from a different angle, and I'm gonna use script. I'm gonna use scripture. And you know me, you know my disclaimer. I don't have to be right. But one thing about a particular people is set for destruction.
Okay.
Why are they set for destruction? Because that's the only thing they know is destruction. Only thing they know is to kill, steal, and destroy. As far as I'm concerned, they're literally the seed of Satan. And
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. That's a people. That's a people. What was Job? Is Job? If Job was a righteous servant, and I'm going to tell you, because you can come back. I know what the scripture says about the people, but there's still a righteous remnant. Look, as far as we were concerned, we were destroyed too. Think about that. There's scriptures that we were destroyed forever. But look at the Most High. He brought us back from the bones. Like we were dead. We were a dead people. We were spiritually dead. So when you say the people, okay, I get it. The nation, okay, I get it. But there's still righteous folks amongst there. Was not Rahab counted for righteous? She was saved, her and her family.
We have to differentiate between a people, right,
and a person,
and here's
the thing. And I get where you're coming from, but I'm not shaping that conversation like that today.
And that's why I said I'm going to come from a different angle.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not shaping that conversation today, because today's not about that. Today's about the crisis that they're trying to unfold.
Okay, all right. So I'll hold my comment then.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. We've had that discussion many a times.
Yes,
we've had that. So what I'm trying to say is this: when you see
the only
their
thing
people,
is,
I want to show you this video, because I want to show you this video so you can understand what I was trying to say in this conversation.
Okay, because I just happened to turn on and I heard a little bit of the thing, and I had to give my little 2 cents, but I'm gonna save my little 2 cents to shop another day.
Here we go. It'll probably go to commercial.
I'm pretty new. I'm designed to help you catch serious conditions early.
And I'm a doctor who can help treat those conditions.
All right.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. You just shut the fuck up.
You okay?
What just happened?
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
Oh, did she get caught?
He literally. So now look.
Did she get caught? I can hear Karis laughing. I don't want to laugh. I wasn't going to be the first one to do that.
Cut the commercial break time.
So now listen, family. He literally.
Have you ever wondered how you could get out of your dead-end job? Are you frustrated with not having the same opportunities?
So listen, family.
When you go to
hello.
Oh, I can hear you. I think Carrie switched off everybody's mics because he's laughing like a donkey. Listen to him.
I'm sorry. Yo, she thought she was not gonna get it. Yo, look.
Firing rubber
but
bullets.
he literally aimed the projectile at her.
Oh.
You see her? Yo. Wow.
He did this well. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So my question to you is that wicked or is that wicked?
She got her foot split.
Yo.
He literally turned it on her. Oh my gosh. Unapologetically, like he lined that up.
In front of everybody.
I want to get frame by frame. There it is.
Becky, you got caught.
There it is. Frame by frame. Gun smoke.
You'd be like, Vicky, yeah, report this.
He said, I don't care about Australian news.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Bullets got thunder.
Oh, my belly's hurting me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to cut the commercial on that one. Fell out. I had to take gulps of breath on that one, man. Brother Eric, I knew where you were coming from, but I said, no, Brother Eric, hold on. Hold on. I know where you're coming from. Hold on. You got the valid point. I get it. Brother Eric,
all that needed to be done was he just needed to blow on that barrel, man.
Got it. Got her. Yeah, damn.
She wanted all that smoke and she got it. Oh my gosh. I need water.
That's what I was saying. Look.
Thank you, Karis. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I needed a good laugh. I'm sorry.
Don't thank me. I'm putting on my MAGA hat. Don't thank me. I'm thanking our Lord and Savior, our orange Jesus, Donald J. Trump, for clearing out them. And if you want to report, you can report that we done shot somebody's leg. Me. Yeah.
Oh Oh, when I say my cheeks are hurting me right now, man. Oh my gosh.
Rest my Budweiser can, because you know at 5 in the morning I'm up drinking. I gotta get a 6-pack just to get right in the morning. Yeah, look, I do not drive to work buzzed, but that's when I'm in the right frame of mind.
Collateral, Becky.
Oh my goodness. Foolish.
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
One more time, yes. she limped away.
Good morning. We begin with developing news out of Los Angeles, where tensions have reached a boiling point. Tear gas and rubber bullets fired as protesters clash with police over immigration.
I wonder how she can
raids.
report this with a straight face.
Lauren,
She didn't.
How you like me now?
I can't take this no more, man. Stop.
Ow! How you like me now? She says she got wounded. I got that. Save me. Save me, Captain. Save me, Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, I got shot. She's doing her Forrest Gump impersonation. I got shot, Lieutenant Dan.
I think I'm all laughed out now. I feel drunk.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
It's just funny. It's just funny, and it's funny, and it's more funny. I'm sorry. I'll see the not funny little later, but
well, because
you only have to put that out there as a disclaimer, but we already know. It's all right. Your people know.
For educational purposes only. It may be real ignorant, but this is educational. This is discussions of real life things that's affecting us. Since they couldn't shoot any black folks, they had their show. They went to their sacred idols.
Listen, I've been saying for a while, like these people have been doing so much harm to us. After a while, it's not going to make.
You shot a blonde-haired white Caucasian woman,
and I bet he felt good doing it as well.
He said, "I want all the smoke."
He gave her some.
I've got all the smoke for you.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
He said the blonde hair ain't stopping this rubber bullet.
And she weren't just blonde. Come on, she's blonde hair, blue eyes, wearing blue jeans, for goodness sake. And she's skinny. Ow!
Look, you went over and Babylon? That's Babylon at its finest right there. Are you kidding?
She fell. Babylon has fallen. She will not rise again.
Golly. I mean, that's crazy. Would you have thought that this would have happened last year? No.
I wouldn't even have thought this would have happened
this weekend.
A few seconds before you did it. I wasn't expecting that. That's why I laughed hard.
Yeah. So y'all think that y'all gonna get black folks on out there? Nah. Because when he changes that cartridge, from a rubber bullet to a real defense round, a real 9mm round, get out of here. I got shot in my buttocks. And I get another ice cream Lieutenant Dan. You doing good, Lieutenant Dan?
Magatized. I like that. I can't laugh anymore, man. I'm just like,
Did they go back to Australia? I heard it. Yeah, I thought you were one of us, and I heard that Australian accent. Made you jump like Kangaroo Jack.
listen.
Oh,
I was literally just before I came on here. I didn't even realize he was on here. I was watching something else, but I'm going to try to see if I can send the link or put the link in the chat. But it came out yesterday, and it's called the 10 countries are stepping back from US travel. And I only just started. I'm like only in 5 minutes in. And one of them is like Japan. I've been saying this is coming, but they're done. We already know Canada ain't got about, I think it was about 35% drop.
Why would you come on out here? Why
Yeah,
would you
exactly.
come on out here and you go somewhere and ice rolls up on you? You're going to get caught right in that ice thing. You want to really get shot in your back as an American, as a tourist in America? Are you kidding?
Well, you think it's just tourists? Like there was a Japanese engineer that he got held up in JFK for 6 hours, and no apology, no nothing. And he was so offended, he took himself and his contracts and left. And not only that, they took they've moved their R&D from I can't remember which state it's in, but they moved their R&D from
I remember that.
Yeah, out, and they're now in Berlin. They're done.
Yeah,
they're done.
They're losing business, and they're causing themselves to lose business. Excuse me.
So when you read the Bible, and it says that the world looks on in horror, we think these calamities, the way we was taught, it feels like as if it's going to happen like boom. I don't doubt that there will be an eventual boom and whatever, but before that actually happens, you're going to see a systematic wipeout where people are literally moving away, because it's like before, when you look, we all watched the Goodfellas and what's it? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember all of them now.
Sister Chantel. Oh my goodness, I'm dealing with the Stoke thing. All right. You know what's going through her mind right after that?
What's that?
It was Biggie Smalls who shot you.
Stop. I can't. Just no more, please. I can't. You can't.
If I would have played that, man, look, they would cut the channel real quick.
I can't. I was making a point where you stop. Like just stop. I can't. My cheeks can't take it anymore. I'm laughed out. I am laughed out. I'm laughed out, Carius. Thank you. It hurts. It actually hurts to talk.
We don't condone violence here on Covenant Awakenings. We don't condone violence.
Oh, but he does.
But
anyway,
we done told y'all. Look, Gentiles. We tried to tell you. We were trying to warn. Look, we would have healed Babylon, but she refused to be healed, and then she got shot with the rubber bullet.
Those things hurt. They can still cause damage.
Oh
and
my
if
goodness.
and if aimed right, they could possibly kill.
Yeah, no, they were saying that. Yeah, they could kill you.
They're still projectiles.
Mm-hmm. It could delete you. So that's going to be an interesting thing, reporter had her microphone, had the cameraman. And
that was the point I was going to make. I was just going to say, like, in all these gangster movies, yeah, before somebody gets right, everybody kind of moves away from them. They're kind of nice, but they're moving away from you because they're not trying to catch that. And that's exactly what's happening. It's like all these nations are literally moving away from this country because they know that this country is about to get murked.
Mm-hmm.
And only the idiot that's gonna get murked don't see it.
Look, I look at it like this. Now think about this. You have a military parade that's going to be in less than a week. In less than a week. Is that military parade to Washington? Is that actually a mobilization?
I believe so.
To bring in military equipment.
I think it is. I think it's the way of hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Hiding it and making sure that they've got, you know, what they've got. And from that point, they will probably distribute it everywhere else.
Yeah.
And say that it's just military exercises.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, you know, think about this. Excuse me. We are now at really a cusp because the reality is this: they can go after anyone that they want indiscriminately. And I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going on out and I'm not protesting. Sorry, I'm not.
Can I just ask one question? Were there any of our people out there? Because I didn't even know about these riots. I only heard about this about 2 days ago. I was like, what? Somebody says nobody's reporting about what's going on in California. I'm like, what's going on in California? And then I saw it. I was like, what is that? I think, was it 2 days ago? Or yeah, something like that anyway.
That was yes. So it started back in like Friday, because remember Thursday night was the manufactured, you know, fallout between Musk and Trump, and I kind of knew that was a fallout.
All I heard was Musky Trump.
Yeah, Musk and Trump. Sorry, I'm literally struggling here with my voice. But the reality was, I said, yeah, if they're doing that, they're going to try to create some sort of, you know, distraction. If you see a distraction like that, that means they're getting ready to do something big, right? It's Janice and Jambries. It's two faces, two distinct faces. And yeah, white supremacy doesn't turn on itself like that. Like, get out of here. Now, they'll do that for theatrics, and that's the theatrics because they'll rather have who is the target audience? Think about that. Who's the target audience on that? And I'm going to tell you the target audience in that whole kerfuffle.
What, them? For them? Like between the two of them? Our people?
No.
Oh, you think it's for MAGA?
Yeah, the target audience was MAGA. That was the target audience. They don't care about us. We have no purview. We have no support in the matter. It's not about us. It's literally about them and the distraction element that they receive. So this is now where you have, right, the number one. Now we're going to go after this. This is their summer campaign. Now, why did they do their summer campaign? And people will say, well, because it's easier to get around and everything else and all this other stuff. It's summer, so you know folks are at the height of travel. Yeah, people are at the height of travel. I get that, but if you look at Florida here, if you looked at a lot of these places, you don't see a lot of Mexicans out. You don't see a lot of I'm not going to say Mexicans, but you don't see a lot of the Hispanic community out.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And matter of fact, I haven't seen a lot of the Hispanic community out in the places that I will traditionally see them.
It's kind of like as if like sinners came out for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, that
And they
is
got
true.
bothered about that.
Yeah, that is true. But at the same time, I look at it like this. Their summer campaign is easier because they don't want to. I'm going to tell you this. I already knew that they were going to do this during the summertime, because the reality of it is they don't want to do this during school. They don't want to do this during school. Because Chicago canceled. Yeah, they canceled the Cinco de Mayo parade. That's true. But now the reality, and shalom, Brother Garth. Now this is going to be for Brother Eric and Brother Garth. Do you think that this timing is impeccable, and what does that timing mean, especially for this month? Who wants to answer that question?
This month is Juneteenth, and also, Brother Karras, I don't know, but I saw someone, there is a picture of someone waving the Burkina Faso flag in LA. So that's that's also very,
That's interesting.
that's a telegraph. Very interesting and very coincidental, and very convenient. There's no correlation there at all.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to get to that, but before we do, I
I'm
want to share
sorry,
this.
but that's all.
That's like a wave, a nod, a tip of the hat, a come join.
Yeah, they're trying to get black folks on out here.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to get black folks out here. Don't fall for the trap. Don't fall for the gimmick.
Even if you see one or two black people holding that.
If anything, that would show, man, all right, cool. Y'all are gonna step up. I'm sitting my behind back. Have you noticed though? And also it's that month.
It's the rainbow.
I haven't seen nothing.
Oh, that month.
I haven't seen nothing
over here as well. Over here as well. It's across the board. It's not just in you lot's neck of the woods. It's over here as well. It's across Europe. You ain't seeing none of that. Wow. It's like it's done. They're done. Yeah.
I guess it went for about 10 years strong and it died.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many people have ever watched have watched Supernatural? That show? There was like whenever they do, it's like they make their deal with the devil or whatever, and it lasts for 10 years, and it's like almost like we saw that. That's what's happened. Your deal has lasted for 10 years, and it's done. People, I'm like, the world does not want this. I didn't care what anybody says. It's only for optics. It was to do what they were trying to do, and what they really wanted to try to do. What they were trying to do was bring it into our home. They always circle around everything first, and then if you want to know where they're really heading, what did you just say? We're always the last stop, because that's the original stop. That's where they're really heading. And that's exactly what, if you remember my poem that I did when I said they're trying to bring this mess into Africa, that's exactly what they tried to do. And our people were like, no. Yeah, it died there.
Remember last year, Africa totally rejected it.
Yes.
And they still continue to reject it. And it died. So they're like, oh, we tried, whatever, it's done.
Yeah, it's not working. Everything they're doing now is they're throwing the same tired tactics at Africa. They did it with us. And the only reason why it worked with us is because we were under their claws and clutches. It ain't gonna work where the nation is strong. You can't change people in their own land like that. Not completely. You cannot. I give you China. The West went in there. They have little implements of the West, but they're still fundamentally China. In fact, if we're going to be honest, the whole of Asia, they hold fast to their belief structures, and a lot of their culture. And the one thing about their culture is, and the same thing about Africa as well, which is why you've seen a lot of back and forth between China and Africa. But the fundamental core beliefs in these two continents is families. They understand, in order for the culture to survive, in order for the society to survive, you have to have your core, and it's families. They're not trying to change that. Only the West has historically broken up their own families.
No, exactly. And the West does that willingly. That's what we've learned from the West. And you know what? It's a disgusting culture to break up families like that. And they've rejected it. And I'm glad that the world has rejected. You know, it's really a wicked lifestyle. It's a wicked lifestyle. No matter how much they'll try to say in their churches every Sunday morning, oh, well, the Bible, this, and they don't even live off the Bible. Because you want to know why? Because they don't even believe it.
No, they don't.
You know, they just believe that it's a tool. It's a tool that's used to control the masses. And as long as they're able to own that, and they can't be brought up on, you know, the
charges
idea,
against it, charges in there.
Don't show Obadiah, don't show Joel, don't show any of that.
Don't even show Jeremiah.
Exactly. Because why? Because that indicts them. So as long as they realize that they're not indicted, but now they're starting to understand that they can't really hide those scriptures, because that's what they hide behind. Well, Jesus is love, 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 right? But then it's like, no, your love is a perversion. It's not actually love. It's actually lust and vanity, and it's a perversion. It's actually wickedness, because it's a deceit. And when you're deceitful, now you're beginning to see how the nations are looking at you. And I wanted to get to the story because now, as I said, they're seeing how the nations are looking at them, and they don't want to have that. This is from Barron's. I dropped that news article in the chat a little bit ago. China tells citizens in LA to boost personal security over unrest. So I'm going to make this point because there was a drill down to this. China's consulate in Los Angeles told its citizens in the area on Monday to strengthen personal security after unrest in America's second biggest city. How are they going to do that? I'm just saying, how are they going to do that? That's just whatever. They already know that their citizens are going to get messed up. Because why? Because folks are getting poor because China retaliated. So they're going to go after Chinese citizens. Watch.
Oh yeah, isn't that what they did to the Japanese?
Yeah, watch. And let me put this on out there, because the crackdown's coming, because again, America's losing. And like I said, when America loses worldwide, it does what? It goes after its citizens.
Yes, it does.
And I said that. I said that on this channel. People are like, oh, that doesn't. No, it's going after them, because then you have to be desensitized enough that when it comes after us, you know, when you go through all the roundabout communities, and then it circles to us. That's what's going to happen. Now, how many months, how many weeks, how many days? Well, honestly, quite honest, it's all calculated. That's why I said in my calculation, it's all calculated. When's Juneteenth in 10 days? What's 10 days?
I knew they were coming after the Asians.
Excuse me. June 19th. So that's going to be 10 days. That's going to be what? Thursday. So that's how they're going to try to shape everything. Let me finish this article. Chinese citizens in the region should strengthen personal security measures, stay away from gatherings, crowded areas, or places with poor public security, and avoid going out at night or traveling alone, the consulate said in a statement. They should also closely monitor official announcements and raise their safety awareness, it added. So, why did they do that? Because they know the game that's being played.
Yes.
They know the game that's being played here. Why? Because what did I say? And folks are saying this is far-fetched. What's going to end up happening? The race war isn't going to be on us. They're going to say, oh, race war and all this. We get all that. Not really. Because you want to know why? Because we know how this place works.
Aren't they just systematically doing the divide and conquer?
Bingo. We know how this place works. That's why we understand, okay, they're going to have the FAFO moment. And when they have the FAFO moment, understand what's going to get ready to happen. You're now going to see peacekeeping operations, and people are going to talk about this where? In the UN.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're going to
Yes.
talk about
Can I
this
say something?
live. Yeah, go ahead, brother Eric. Yes, go ahead.
Blessings to you, brother G. How you doing? He got his mic muted. All right. So listen, I think it's gonna be more so civil war than a race war, because we already been in a race war. We've been in a race war since we've been here.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? If they wanted to ratchet it up even more to see us shooting each other with guns in the street, I don't think that's going to happen. But the civil war is definitely on the rise, because what number 47 is doing is he's cutting off the hand that fed him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And they're feeling like they've been betrayed by him.
Yes.
See, it was all good because in their mind, it was just supposed to happen to black and brown people, more or less black people.
They were
I'm not down with this BIPOC foolishness.
We were supposed to suffer as well as other minority groups. Yes, go ahead, brother.
True, but remember, the other groups are just a tool used against us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that? You know, if you're going to keep it real, they're just being used against us.
Oh, you know they hate having to hear that, but it's the truth.
That's the absolute truth.
Mm-hmm.
See,
They're understanding that now.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They're learning. They're learning what their buffer class really meant.
They're learning the hard way, because we've been telling them for decades and centuries about these people and about this nation. But they came over here because a carrot is dangling in front of them, and they think that if we just assimilate and comply, stay in your place, boy, then okay, we can get the goods, we can get proximity to white society, we can get everything the American dream has to offer if we go along with the program. And the program has always been, you have to hate black people.
Yep.
Black Americans specifically.
Do you want to know something really? Sorry, Eric, I don't mean to think, but I'm just going to feed into what you're saying. But do you want to know what what they're taking? They're taking the Star Trek model, and everybody in the the main characters. If you check them, they're all not. You don't have no FBA, and even though Uhura, right, she wasn't actually American. She was from Kenya. She was from Kenya. Most people don't realize that or didn't know that. Her character was from Kenya, actually the United States of Africa, as it was called then, right? In the show. What I'm saying is that everybody came in to this federation, and they all, what they're hoping, this is why, look, the civil rights went forward, and these people started coming in the 60s at the same time as what? Star Trek.
Yes.
Like, it's mind-boggling. They program and they tell you they had it out there to put. So when these people started coming in, that's what they were expecting, the federation. But we've all got to assimilate, because that was the whole point. The insidiousness of Star Trek is that it's so insidious. It's like it is itself the Borg, because everything about Star Trek, there's no enterprise for anything else. It's just, you've got the Federation owns everything, your water, your food, your clothing, everything, communications, medicine, everything. And they're coming in and they're feeding. Then it goes out and it expands. So not only just coming in, but their territories expand. You have all these different planets or all these different countries. Let me say this. When it says, when the Bible says that they want to build up in the desolate places, they're throwing down right now. They're trying to build up. They're not thinking that, oh, we're going to decimate America. No, they want to decimate to make it the way they want to. Once Donald Trump, in his mind, once he's done what he wants to do, the next course of action is to go out and assimilate. If you think that this is just for America only, you're foolish enough to believe that. It's their movies, you can line it back to back to back to back, and it will tell the narrative. And I've said this. What is it like the film? The James Bond film, The World Is Not Enough. Come on. They're not going to just stop there. That's not the plan. Like, the whole thing was to conquer the whole earth. But guess what? The Most High is going to do that because his rocket's coming down. I'm going to take all of you lot out and he's going to build. But they're hoping to circumvent prophecy because their grimoire, their book of their Bible tells them that they can sort of, like I said, just like Mario Kart riding in that jet stream, in the prophecy's jet stream, they're hoping that they can tap it and move ahead and around and ride it out. That's their thinking. With them, it's always, if you notice, if you watch films, I'm sorry, Eric, but you know, when you watch films, they always say, oh, there's a prophecy in a film and it's like, it could happen. No, there's always a 50-50 with them. With the Most High, there's no 50-50 from what he says is going to happen will go forth. And that's how it is. That's how it is. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
That's okay. No, that's like what the scripture said. They're like greedy dogs that can never have enough. You understand? They're gonna hoard up silver and they're gonna hoard up gold. They can't. They can never be satisfied. You know. But the thing I wanted to say was, what's dangerous about this situation with them snatching people off the street and calling themselves ISIS. Yeah, that's what it is now. But soon, it's gonna be any nationalist group, any KK group, putting on a fake uniform and snatch it. It's going to be so normal that anybody could come and say they ISIS, they the FBI, and snatch these people up. And you're not going to know the difference. But you want to know something? I don't feel sorry for none of them. Let me tell you why. Do y'all remember the Night Riders? Do you remember the KKK? When they would just get a notion that they're going to string one of us up and ride through the town, and the first black person they see or house they see, they bust in the house and grab one of us, and the next thing you know, we're swinging from a tree. That's what you're seeing here. The curses are reversing.
Yes, that's what
when you went along with the Haitians being whipped and sent back across the border, when you was joking and laughing, you thought that was so funny, and you made your little memes and you had your little song, bang, 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 Cubans for Trump, and all this, you made song. It was funny then.
Hey,
man. They forgot that song. You're not hearing that song no more.
Listen, man. I'm sorry. I'm Florida. I'm from Florida. Hey, man.
I love Donald Trump. I can't do it, Cuban.
Yeah, do you still love him now?
Ay, qué lindo. Esta, tómalo.
They're not laughing anymore. They were big, bold, and brazen with it.
It was so funny to see black people being whipped and chased by a horse.
Oh my goodness!
Do you know what this proves?
Hilarious to them. But
do you know what this proves, Eric? Though
funny.
It's not funny.
Do you know
anymore.
this proves? It's not. But do you know what this proves? This proves that who was the smartest? Who has been the most intelligent? Who told you that this was coming? Who's been telling you this for decades? Who? You've been told, and you always turn around and say, put out there that black people are unintelligent, black people don't know this, black people are this, that, and the other, and we've been the ones telling you, oh, don't trust them, don't trust them.
But you're acting like you don't know. Prophecy, faux show.
So hilarious. This is why
I'm in y'all unit. I'm in y'all unit.
You are, man.
This is why I don't feel sorry for these people, because it's not because I'm insensitive. It's because they're insensitive. You reap what you sow.
Well, and the whole thing is, just as Brother Eric had said, we've told them. So it's not the fact that we haven't said anything. How many times have we said this on this channel? I've been saying it on this channel for years. Gentiles, I've said it. And it's not to laugh. It's not
and they were coming in, weren't they? They were coming in and calling you. Yeah, they were calling you. What was it? What was they calling you? They said to you, they were calling you an alarmist, and they were calling you this, that, and the other. I remember, like, we had to kick them out, and then like there was one who tried to say what he was saying. They didn't want to show up.
Yeah, they're calling me clowns and monkeys and bananas and all this other stuff. And you know, the funny thing is, it ain't so funny anymore when they're visiting Walmart.
No,
it's not so funny anymore when they're looking at their grocery prices going up and up.
Yeah,
it's not funny anymore when they're realizing that their jobs are being lost. Because
I was just getting ready to say, it ain't funny when they can't work at Walmart, because guess what?
Come on.
And then they don't even know how to. I was just gonna say, when I see them on social media talking about, oh my gosh, this has gone up, look at this, I'm seeing like pre-cooked food. I'm like, bruh, that's what you're belly aching about? Go get some food, proper hard food. You're going for packet food. You don't know how to cook. They really don't.
They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to prepare food. This is why they have to go to restaurants. So you have a generation, and it's not to. I'm not saying
they make drinks out of their toilets. That's why.
Well, yeah, that was disgusting. And
I'm gonna tell you something. And listen, Sister Santa, I was watching this. This post. This brother from Jamaica. The Asians over there. Listen to what I'm telling you. What these people is doing. They ran a tube across the drink into a drinking fountain. Guess where the water was coming from?
Come on.
The toilet.
Oh my goodness.
And they ran it into from the back room to the front, down across the ceiling, down the wall, into as if you know how you go to a fountain and they have the jug. And you think you're getting clean water from the jug.
That's wicked, because all right, so if people any plumbers in here, if there's any plumbers in here, okay, I'm not a certified plumber. I'm not. But I used to do a lot of home improvement. I used to do a lot of things with toilets, you know, remodeling. I did all that.
It's a lot of things with toilets.
You have to run the main into usually in your main line is the middle of your house. So why? So you have the drainage that comes through and it goes into the main, so it never contaminates what? Your line. There's a main in and there's a main out. So the main out connects to your sewage. The main in is your clean, potable water for the most part.
Can I
circulation? Yeah, thank you, Brother Howard. Thank you.
I'm just gonna say this.
Brother Howard is a plumber. He is a plumber. He will let you know.
I'm just gonna say this. I agree. That's disgusting. That is beyond disgusting. But if we're gonna be for real, how many of us were watching these videos that were put out like about before 2020 and during and after 2020, when we were seeing some of the filth that they were doing in their country? True. Let's not get it twisted. They're not. It's not.
I don't mean to cut you off. My point is, they could have did that from the faucet.
Yeah, they could have.
They could have did that from the faucet. It just goes to the level of hatred that they have for us.
But I've seen them do that in their own country, though. That's the thing. I've seen them do this in their own. They're just,
and they'll do it to each other. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They'll do it to each other.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that they don't have a hatred. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying look, how many of us who were brought up like if your parents return and say, look, if you're borrowing somebody else's stuff, make sure you look after it more than you do your own stuff.
Yep.
Right? We were brought up with that mentality because that's a Hebrew thing,
Yeah, you
right?
take
Across
care
the
of their
board.
stuff more than you.
Right. Right.
Because you're carrying forward their stuff.
Right.
It's
not yours.
Right.
But remember,
It's not yours.
That's a compassion thing. That's why we come back. Look, we could have just shut our mouths and said, hey, you know what? You get what you get. How come you didn't tell us? Because why? Because we're righteous.
Right.
Exactly. We told you. We warned you.
It's a righteous thing to let somebody know, hey, you're walking right into the oven. You're walking right into disaster. You're walking right into the minefield. And guess what?
True.
They walked right into the minefield. Now, if we did not tell them or warn them, then guess what? We're as wicked as they are.
Right.
If we didn't tell them and warn them, we're as wicked as they are. I'm sorry. I operate in goodness and righteousness and truth.
Right.
Goodness and righteousness and truth. Because why? It's a righteous thing to tell people that they're messing up. We have been telling this.
No, actually, Karis, we have not just been telling. We've been telling and doing the work. Right. We've been telling and doing the work. We've been telling and doing the work and helping you.
No. Let me tell you this. Not only have we been doing the work for the Gentiles, we've also been doing the work for our Hebrew community. Because why? Because we saw where this thing was going. Look, I started with this, but since this, Shonda, we did building bridges.
Right.
And we had some Gentiles in there. And you know what? The Gentiles, it was hard for them. Because it's like, well, it really didn't matter just yet. Because when the time gets tough, then I can run back. Can you?
And
they don't have the foresight.
And Brother Karras, also, we didn't just tell them. They seen our suffering, and they see our suffering up until now.
And now,
the only reason why they don't see blood sliding down our face and a busted nose is because we're not out there protesting with them.
We're not.
Because I guarantee you, if we was out there with them, you know who would be getting bust upside the head?
Yep. Yeah.
You know, back in when 2020 was going on, and since they would always have these extra plastic cuffs.
Yep.
You don't see none of them on these people because they don't have any intentions of arresting any of these people or brutalizing them.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They do have attentions to give them that smoke.
I was just gonna say that.
True, but that's true, but not like they give it to us.
They got that smoke.
I bet she wish. I bet she wish she got cuffed.
Guess what?
You got paid.
But your brother Karras, guess what? It's going to ratchet itself up, and just like Sister Chantel believes, I believe it's going to be 4 times. It ain't going to just be double.
Worse.
No. Yeah.
It's going to keep ratcheting itself up on them.
They're manufacturing that crisis for real.
Because these people, they have to kill, steal, and destroy. It's in them. It's in their
even if it's their own. They started off doing it to themselves. They're going to end up there.
They have no choice. It's in their DNA to be so wicked. They are bloodthirsty vampires. They need that blood.
Even if it's their own people. Yeah, that's like we told y'all. Even if
how did they start off though?
Their own people. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't. If y'all are just joining me, but all right, let me finish this article because we're gonna come back to some things. Donald Trump warns we're going to have troops everywhere after ICE protests. Why? Because he's going to lock this thing down into what?
Brother Terrence, let me ask you a question.
Martial law, man. This is what he wanted.
Yesterday, do you believe martial law started?
Man, look. Let me show you. Do I believe martial law started? Do I believe martial law started? Y'all see that screen? Ask her. She believes martial law started. Get through this.
She took a shot to the leg for martial law.
Ask her.
situation has now rapidly
That's
deteriorated.
right. Martial
The
law
LAPD
started.
moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
The martial
You
law
see,
started.
this is Becky for you. This is
Yep.
Becky for you. She's so unafraid and so unencumbered. She didn't even flinch with all the noise. She didn't even flinch.
Are you good? Are you good? You got
Good morning. We
shot.
begin with developing news out of Los Angeles, where
Who
tensions.
shot you?
Wow!
She's crying too. She crying.
No, she's not. She's like, I'm good, I'm good. You're so not.
Developing
No,
news
you ain't
out
good.
of
You were
Los Angeles, where
crying.
tensions have reached.
Yeah, I gotta give it to that guy. If he was aiming for her leg and not
Is that her now? Is that her afterwards?
Unraveled about 90 minutes ago and has been out of hand ever since. If I can just show you here the amount of riot police that are on the street. This is actually
if he was aiming and not just shooting to be shooting, I'd give him a lot of credit.
as they move through the city here. There have been thousands of people throughout.
She said, I got shot. Man's got shot.
Becky down.
Yeah, that's right. Becky down, man. Yeah, man's got shot. Skibbity bop bop bop.
She said, oh, man. Man's got shot. Man down.
Oh, Becky Saurus.
Oh my goodness. So let me share this back to this. Donald Trump warns we are going to have troops everywhere. Where? Everywhere.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're coming to a city near you.
Yeah.
What
I
you
love
gonna do?
I love the fact that they have to now do it. This is the martial. Oh gosh, what's the word now? I've forgotten. This is what they wanted. This is what they wanted black people in the streets for, right? But we weren't doing it. As a result, they had no choice but to now do it under this. They didn't want to put, they wanted to put out in the world, because one of the things is, right, so much truth has gone out to the world to the point where America looks like crap. And they wanted to frame it that this is the people we're dealing with here.
Let me read this. Let me read this. Hold your thoughts, Sister Chantel, because let me read this. President Donald Trump warned there will be troops everywhere when asked if he will take more action if the LA protests continue to rage amid fears that martial law may be declared. In a directive Saturday, Trump invoked the legal provision allowing him to deploy federal service members when there is a rebellion or danger of a rebellion against the authority of the United States. Why is there danger of a rebellion? If not from ICE. It's not about the ICE protest. There's a fear of rebellion because America is being liquidated in a bankruptcy. We told you America was being liquidated in a bankruptcy. You saw Liberation Day was a filing of bankruptcy. And people didn't understand what that meant. They just thought, oh, well, this and that. And, they wanted to draw their own narratives because people weren't understanding America can't pay its bills anymore. What happens when America can't pay its bills? Well, you're not going to have the goods. You're not going to have the services. You're not going to have the products. What happens? Folks have to now redistribute everywhere else. What does that look like? It looks like we're going to have to deploy federal troops everywhere. What ended up happening in April? A redistribution of what? Military equipment. Man, I wish Sister Shar was here. I could try to get her online. But Sister Shar just had this. She was just talking about this in the town hall. The NeoDiplomacy town hall. Back on what? May 18th. You all can still go and register to receive the video so you can do what? so you can get ready. Because why? Well, I'm sorry. We gave you literally 3 weeks in advance. We did. We did. So you can't tell us that we didn't warn you. No, we did. If you don't want to warn yourselves, there's 300 people in here. If you don't want to warn yourselves, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Don't have a Gentile mindset. Don't have a mindset like Esau. He got famished and he said, I don't care about my birthright. Because why? He wasn't prepared. Sister Chantel, you said it. You put that right on the button, right on the money. What was Esau's mindset? He didn't care. He was apathetic. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
We've learned that here in this society. You better prepare.
Do you know, we've always been prepared, if we're going to be honest. Even when we're not, when we don't see anything, we've been, when you come from a people that has nothing, the minute you get a little bit of something, you put down. I know that it's not just me here and our brothers and sisters over in the Caribbean. I know you guys feel the same way. How many of us are you're going out shopping with your mum or your grandma or whatever, and it's like she's stocking up on tins, and you're like, what do you need all that for? And she's like, you don't know when you need this, so shut up and just help me pull the thing. You know,
yeah.
Because we've always, and we know to have certain things in our pantries, dry foods.
Let me translate that, especially for folks here. We're talking about canned goods. She's talking about tins. It's canned goods.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot.
I just had to translate. Just a little bit of translation. That's okay.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. Tins, cans. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot cans. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we know to put those things in. You guys call it grits. We call it cornmeal flour and whatnot. Yeah. So have those things.
Some do grits with cheese. Well, let me. Some do grits with cheese. Some will do grits with all right.
We don't. Let's start this conversation.
and sugar.
Cheese? What did you say, Eric?
I said some of us, or I should say, one of us does cheese and sugar.
Cheese and sugar. Now,
I can just only do cheese or cheese or sugar. That's one or the other. Just depends. It just depends. It depends. Sorry, go ahead, because I don't want to start on no food debates. Okay, I don't want to start on no food debates because you want to know why.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I'm just gonna say one thing.
Because these Gentiles out here are being shot. They're getting shot.
Moving them on.
Shot a white lady.
She jumped a little bit. I like that sound. We have to pattern that sound.
They shot the white lady.
They shot her. That's gonna be the new sound, man. I want that as a ringtone.
The deputy. They shot the white lady. But they did not shoot the deputy. I'm sorry. This is
family. Just on a side note, when you get a chance, I want you to read Joshua 47 and I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me make sure I tell you the right one. And sorry. Make sure I give you the right thing. Yeah. And Joshua 81. Read both of those chapters, and you're going to see the hatred that Esau has for Jacob. You're going to see that the Most High is telling us never to forget what they did to us. Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem. We keep wanting to love these people, and the Most High says no. So just a little side note, just read those 2 chapters and so you can get a better understanding as to why we need to stay away from these people, because they keep showing how much they hate us. And they're not willing, they're not even thinking about changing. What's bizarre to me is after all the stuff that's going on.
Again, I'm gonna preface this. Brother
No, all of them are Esau. It's a lot.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Gentiles in general.
I'm going to preface that listen, there are those that you have to understand the Most High is changing the hearts of some of them. He's changing the hearts of some of them. Not all. Why? Because it's not a nation that's going to be redeemed. It's not a people that's going to be redeemed. Now, will there be onesies and twosies? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, in case of this nation that was founded by those type of powers, the European continent, let's just be honest, that was founded under there. Now, are there going to be some righteous among them? Absolutely. However, as a nation, what did they do? They came through and they made a confederacy. Now, does that mean that all is going to then, return and repent and things of that nature? Honestly, no, not all of them. But I honestly tell you, I will be surprised because I think some nations will say we're going to repent.
Yeah, I believe that. In fact, the scripture tells us that.
Yeah. Now
This country ain't one of them.
No. This country is not one of those nations.
Right.
No. I'm not talking about your country. I'm talking about this country.
Yeah, exactly. No, in this country, look, that is a remnant that will actually, say, hey, please forgive us. No, this country, their heart has already been set. This is why they're going through judgment.
Right.
So it's not the fact that we don't recognize the judgment. It's the fact that now they're going to start to recognize the judgment. Because why? Because you still have Jeremiah 16 and 19 that's going to be in place. You're still going to have Isaiah chapter 2 and 3 that's still going to be in place. You're going to have the remnant of the folks saying, hey, can we go with you? Because we know that the Most High is with you all. They're going to grab a Yahudim by the hem. Why? Because we're getting ready to leave. Why? Because we understand what's happening. Now, here's the reality of this. Do you now see, look, there was a reason why we were doing what we were doing, especially with Q2A, especially with all of these things happening. This is look, the Most High puts everything in order. He puts everything in order. We have a shipping container full of medical supplies on its way to Africa. Why? Because we have to approach our brothers and sisters with a gift that show that we are there and we are here. We're not Gentile nations. We're not like the Gentiles. We don't show up and say, give me. Stop thinking like Esau. Esau wanted everything. It's better to give. Doesn't the scripture say it's blessed to do what? To give than to receive.
Actually, if we're going to be honest, when you come into somebody's house in the continent, you're supposed to come with a gift. You'll find that is a cultural thing, not just in the continent of Africa, but also in the continent of Asia. You come with a gift. You do not just show up at somebody's house. I just want to put that out there.
Exactly. But we don't know that. By and large, we don't know that. We didn't know that. So when we came through incorrect. You know what I know? You know, the funny thing is, I learned that in the military. Always bring a gift. Always bring something. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind of knew that.
That's a Hebrew custom, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said, but
I knew that amongst our people. I knew that amongst our people. Hey, you know, let's stop by. Let's grab something for them. Let's give them something. I knew that amongst us. I didn't know that when you go and you travel abroad, that's how you have to do things. That's called diplomacy.
Yes.
That's what.
But they do that in Italy as well. They do that around the Mediterranean regions. It's just when you get further up, it's just not something that happens.
But again, in the Mediterranean regions, you still have a large influence of us being there as a people.
Where we were there.
Look, and we know that. So those are the customs that they then had gained from us. The U.S. gained customs from us. Don't get it twisted. They gained
I agree.
from how we had done things via the Atlantic slave trade. They remember for up until about 1840s, and I think it was only until 1850s. That's when they stopped the transatlantic slave trade here in the
Yeah, it
United
was.
States. You know, folks are still understanding their traditions and their customs, and they're still passing it on. Because why? Because grandma, grandpa, would pass it on. Dad would pass it on. However they can keep on. It may not have been all of it, but they were trying to pass on enough of it, and you still had other folks coming in and reinforcing what was being passed on. Oh yeah, no, we had this. Oh yeah, no, you had that. Oh yeah.
That's why when we're talking, we're realizing, oh, you guys do that over there as well. Yeah, we do that too. Like I was talking to my sister's partner, and he's from France, but his family is from, I think, Cameroon. But he was saying that he said he goes, I've traveled, and he goes, everywhere our people are at, we have a rice and we have a bean. He said we have a rice and a bean dish. For the Caribbean, it's rice and peas. For you guys, it's what would you call it?
Black-eyed peas and rice.
Yeah, which is the same thing, really. Rice and peas. We call it rice and peas. You guys call it rice and beans. And same thing in South America. And they want to try and make out like it's them people that did it. No, it's us. It's us. We got that in Asia as well, because some of our people is in Asia. Like everywhere you go where there's a rice and bean, it's literally ours. Literally ours. And our people have just been everywhere. Let's not even get twisted about the whole Edo people and
you have red beans and rice. When I grew up in the Northeast, it was black-eyed peas and rice. That's all we ate: black-eyed peas and rice.
Oh yeah. Well, we
we
don't just do red beans as in kidney beans. We also do black-eyed peas and rice and gunga peas and rice as well. So yeah, we do an array. But it's all kinds of beans and peas and whatever. Except for baked beans, yeah, we ain't putting that in no rice.
I don't do baked beans.
I
don't even think that was us that came up with baked beans.
No, it wasn't us. It was them. That was all them.
Yeah.
It was Esau trying to recreate something.
Yeah, I never even. Yeah, I never even.
Red beans.
I never liked it. I never. No.
You don't like baked beans?
No, baked beans are nasty.
Baked beans are sick, man. You gotta know how to. You gotta reggae them beans, man.
They don't do it like that. Look, Bush's family secret. They can keep it with the dog. Okay, they can keep it with the dog. Get out of here. Now, I have to put like some seasoned salt on it. Let's get some hot sauce on there.
What, you talking about the beans?
Yeah, just to give some.
Look, kindly understand something. When you see this culture wars of baked beans and whatnot, understand you're talking about English baked beans. We're not the same. We're not even the same.
Beans, it's
the way they do it, yes, but we, as in any, and I'm not even just talking about like anybody melanated, and we're talking about also Asian, like they're not eating it just like that. They're not eating. We don't eat it like that. I know for a fact we don't. Anybody from South, no.
Ketchup and sugar beans. That's what it is.
No.
That's
ketchup and sugar beans.
Yeah, that's baked beans here with a little bit of molasses.
Well, there's more stuff going. There's more stuff going in there. When we cook it, I put it in the pot. I'm putting other stuff in it. You got to, otherwise it's disgusting. A bit of garlic in there as well. I might throw in sometimes I might even just put some jerk sauce in there or something. I don't know. Depends on what mood I'm in. And I'll have it with some fried dumpling and some plantain. I'll just get that dumpling and just scoop up that sauce. Man, you don't even know, man. But all I'm saying is that wherever we are, we have the same kind of mentality. And I've noticed that a lot of the so-called diaspora wars, it's not even a thing anymore. It's almost like since the Ibrahim Traore protests, it's not even a thing anymore. And if you hear somebody coming out with it, it's because they're being paid to try to push that, to try and cause division again.
Did you see? Are you looking at the photo? This is what Brother Garth had shared earlier. They're trying to have a Burkina Faso flag on
Yeah,
top
they
of
tried
her,
to.
and see, of course, she's in a mask and everything else. Why do you think that?
They're looking to rile things up.
Yeah, they're trying to incite us.
Yeah, of course.
And look, I'm sorry, but we've been around this. We've done this. Matter of fact, we already knew that this was coming. We already saw this playbook. Oh, well, what about the person doing the Burkina Faso flag? That's not even anything that we represent here. That's not even anything that we represent. You see the Mexican flags? That one Burkina Faso flag, it's more the Mexicans. Burkina Faso is minding their own business. They're not dragged into this, so we're not going to drag them into this. And matter of fact, we denounce that they even use the Burkina Faso flag because a lot of the Burkinabes and Malayans and Nigerians and all of our other African brothers and sisters here in the United States, guess what? You know, they make sure that their immigration status is up to date. They're not playing around here. The embassy knows, like, get out of here. You know what that really does? That demeans the embassy of the United or the of the government of Burkina Faso. That demeans it. Why? They're not there for destruction. For what? The United States? Who cares? They could care less.
Yeah, the media is definitely complicit because I was watching one of the broadcasts and there was no Hebrews out there except one. And they made sure he was front and center right behind the guy that was
they always do that.
Narrating.
They find one of our sellouts.
Yeah.
They find
I mean, I'm saying he was just as loud as when he spits up and all this other stuff. And I'm saying to my you fool. When they finish with their tools, they break them.
Yeah. Because why? And he probably already knows that he's a tool. He probably already knows. All right, yeah, I want them to go after us. And he doesn't. A lot of our people self-hate. We do. We're self-hating people, unfortunately. But don't have your self-hate
Stockholm syndrome
affect me. Exactly. Don't have your self-hate affect me. Sorry. I love our people.
Can I say something?
I want our people to be able to get up on out of here and not suffer the wrath that these folks are suffering. I'm sorry that if you don't read the word, you better understand what. Separate yourself. Get out of the midst of Babylon, lest you what? Partake in their plagues.
Do you want to know what I feel so comforted by? A few years back, and it's happened like it's a horrible little thing that just pokes its head up every 2-3 years. I imagine that maybe what happened last year, it might have been the last time because considering what's going on. But you're not seeing any of these Dominicans opening up their traps anymore, are you? They're very quiet.
Me no black?
Yeah. Yeah. I said when ish starts to go down, especially when it comes, can we take a mental note of all those people who got up on several apps and started talking ish about black people? Can we please make a mental note? Because I'm saying if I see any of them, right? If I see any of them, I'm calling them out. I am calling them out, and I expect our people to do the same. Because I'm thinking the imagery that's in my mind right now is literally what's that film? I always forget the name of the film. The film with Julia Roberts and the scene with the cars and everything.
Oh, you're talking
Leave the World Behind.
Yeah,
Is it Leave the World Behind? Yeah. The scene with the cars is it literally puts in my head us fleeing. The closer to the docks you get, to the ports you get, the more colored, the more darker and the more colored different colored cars you're seeing. When the camera starts panning back to where the family is, you start seeing these white cars,
White
these
cars,
white,
yes.
And that was
right,
purposely. They're the
Yes.
last ones to get it, and they're gonna be too late.
Oh my
right,
goodness, come on.
right,
They
with
put
their
it right in
janked
their
up
face.
faces, and you know, obviously the lights looking like the eyes, and the grill with the, and it looked all jaggy because, like, you know, and they looked like they're in distress, and they're just running into each other like they've got no, like headless chickens.
Oh my
That's going to
goodness.
be them. I want you
Wow.
every so
That's a
often
great
keep that
description.
in.
That's a
Right.
great
Keep
description.
that in your mind all the time, because that is exactly what's going to happen. So for me, what I'm saying, all those people who look like us but want to delineate from us, let them. When you see them and they feel they can get there, they can sneak in. I want you to pull them up by the cuff of their necks like a little puppy and throw them back down the line and say, Gwe, go with them. Remember, you're not black. You're not black. Go back. Go with them.
Black. I know black.
That's right. I know black.
I always say when Yeshua show up, you watch how many people going to say they black. They going to the front of the line. Oh, you think we forgot?
Yes.
They're gonna look like do the right thing. They're gonna look like do the right thing. I'm black. I'm black.
Exactly. Keep that same energy. Keep it. Keep it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's all right. Well, I gotta get things wrapped on up. Final thoughts, comments.
Well, thank you for your sentiments and your condolences. Thanks for having me. Like I always tell you, Brother Karish, your labor's not in vain. So just keep up the good work. Nice to see you, Sister Chantel.
And you and I, you know, again, my condolences, and I'm sorry that it would have been. We're so close, and it really does. It breaks my heart when I hear our people, especially our elders, passing just before we're about to exit out of here. It really does. It break my heart.
I was hoping
So,
for to touch down on some African soil, you know, because I know it's close, but you know, she in a better place right now because she was a good woman, so she ain't got to deal with this foolishness down here no more.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Brother Eric.
Thank you. All right, guys, take care. Keep up the
and you
work.
too, and you too.
All right, love you guys.
All right, love you, Brother
Where's
Eric.
Garth?
Thank you. Yeah, Garth is, you know, he's on his gone. You know, pray for Brother Garth. We're doing some exciting things this week.
I can't see who's down there because, like, you got your little, you know, icon there, so it kind of hides whoever's down there.
It's just you and us. There you go, Sister Chantel. Go ahead, get your final thoughts in.
Okay. Well, I just want to say to everybody, it was tremendous fun being on. You know, I've kind of missed all of yous, and I'm really stoked to be here. I mean, I'm so happy that we're about ready to go, innit? I don't know what came over me. Yeah, okay, so I am happy when I see this, when I see this and that. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I don't care who wants to say whatever, saying, well, boo, I don't care. But it's like, yeah, it's time you guys know what it was like to be us. And now they're starting to say things like, oh, woe is me, we're being oppressed. I'm like, you lot don't know oppression. It's just shots fired zooming past your head and catching you on your foot, but you're not oppressed. You know, when you feel like oppression to them is being called pronouns.
Yeah.
You know, that's oppression. I'm like, you lot don't know nothing.
They're going to start getting more and more oppressed as the days go by, because as they're trying to get us out there, they're going to honestly go through those curses. And I think, and I'm going to tell you, this is what they're going to try to have. They're going to try to play victimhood. I'm going to tell you exactly, and I'm sorry, you know, Gentiles, you're listening in. Hey, I've learned a good thing or two about you all, a lot of you all. And I know how you all think, and I've seen it. I can understand it because now it's all playing out. I'm sorry. But what they're going to say is, see, we're the victims. And guess what's going to end up happening? Even though it, we had a laugh about the white lady getting shot. It's funny, but it's not really funny. That's a rallying cry. Well, if they shoot her, they're not going to shoot me. And if they shoot me, then I'm going to, it's a rallying cry for me to shoot, they get drawn to that. For us, we don't get drawn to that. They do.
Yes, they like violence. They get drawn from violence. We run away from it. We're like, I ain't trying to be here.
That to me, I'm going to show up. They're not going to do that to me. And then do you understand how they run right into that trap? They run right into it, and it's not funny at all.
Can I just say something?
Well,
for everybody in the chat, I'm not going to be long. Anybody in the chat, if you understand our enemy, or you understand how they act, please press a 1. If what Karis has just said didn't elude you and you understand it fully, please press 1 so that we know that we're all on the same page. Because I know that our people already know this. And I'm not saying that you don't know this. I'm just saying that them watching, they think we don't know them, but we know them. We know them. I even said to you, remember the other day, I think it was like last year or the year before, I said to you, I would not be surprised that when they start going through what they're going through, they're going to start reading the Bible, pick up the Bible for the first time and actually start reading the pages that they never wanted to read before and be like, look, we're going through this. This is the cancer's enough. We're the people. I would not be surprised.
I saw that the other day too, because I texted Red. I said, Red, I got a YouTuber that I watch. He's pretty funny. He's a Gentile. And he knows, a lot about, the markets and things of that nature. And this dude literally quoted from out of Deuteronomy 28 and 40.
Oh, he didn't. Oh,
yes,
I haven't seen that.
I said,
but remember, I did actually say this to you. I think it was about 2 years ago. I said I would not be surprised when they start going through what they're going through. They're going to start going through Deuteronomy and try and make out like they're the people. Yeah. I knew this was coming. I ain't surprised. And I guarantee you all them ones probably knew it as well.
Yeah, they did. So we already know, but the problem is the trap and the curses are here. So with that, I actually do have to wrap up, family. Sister Chantel.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
And shalom, everyone.
All right. Shalom, Sister Chantel. All right. Well, family, again, if you'd like to support this channel, you may do so. I'm going to be here for a while, at least until July. Continue to pray for us. And again, your contributions do matter. They really do. I do appreciate it. It does help because I'm able to provide this type of content to you all. Again, I appreciate it and I thank you. Now, with this, we also have the QTUA, the container fund. So I was able to get the confirmation. The container is on the sea. The container is on the sea. It will be arriving around early August. It'll be arriving around early August. Believe it or not, it had to do the transatlantic trade. I kid you not. It is hilarious seeing all the stuff to go from somewhere in Europe down to Ghana. It is crazy. So we are still raising funds for that to get the container all the way to Burkina Faso. Your donations are appreciative. They are an impact. On top of that, we're getting video footage together to show to President Captain Ibrahim Traore. If you would like to be mentioned in there, if you would like to be mentioned, please email me so I can show you the options that we have because it supports the business side of things. If you want to do that, we have to show our people that we're interested in actually doing the work. And unfortunately, money is the device. although we don't have a lot of it as a community, just being frank. But that doesn't stop us. And now's the time that we are having favor, even in the midst of our enemies, because we're now just being a witness. We're doing what the Most High called us to do. So you don't need to hate them. You don't need to do anything else. Matter of fact, honestly, pray for them. Oh my goodness. Yeah, pray for them. Yeah, pray for them. Pray that in this time that they understand what's happening and that the Most High can show them what's going on, because I believe that there are some righteous among them. Now, you can pray for people afar. I'm not saying that you just be carrying some, olive oil and just be dabbing on people. No, you can pray for them. Because for those that the Most High has chosen, look, they're going to get it. For those that did not, it is what it is. Because I operate in righteousness and goodness and truth. That's it. So that's what I'm about. And if you're confused about it, go ahead and pray and ask the Most High to give you understanding through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. So with that said, family, Most High willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. Hallelujah. I will be back on tomorrow. Be safe on out there, especially if you're here in the United States. We are going through martial law. We are. So, it doesn't need to be declared. You only just need to look at the actions. That's it. They're never going to tell you anything. We already told you that. They're not going to. So, and did you ever expect that anyway? Just saying, did you ever truly expect that anyway? So with that said, family, Most High willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And with that, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.